internet, mostly YouTube and
Hi.
Picarto. Welcome to the MLP critique drawing stream number 178. This is a
Yay!
stream, in case you've forgotten, in case it takes 177 streams for you to forget. This is a stream where we draw on people's art. We look at the art and we tell you ways that you might be able to improve it. Let me turn off that. I'll turn off that little spirit wind. There we go.
We always try to.
Yes, so this is the thing we do every week. If you've not been here before, welcome. I am taking over for Le Zombie today because he is away traveling the world trying to make more zombies by nibbling people.
He's going on location to critique near you.
Yeah, so we're here today. I've got with me the lovely lioness Ali Claw
Hello.
and the little mousey CPC. Cute pencils.
Hi.
I'm so used to just saying CPC, but some people won't know what that stands for.
I know, right?
And I'm the
And
fluffy
of course,
guy.
cute pencil case is so long.
It is.
Yes.
It's exhausting. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
good. Let's see. Draw pile. I do already have a thing. Oh, look at that. It's got like a scrolling text I already set up at the top saying to please throw art at our faces and to advertise the Discord. Look at me already setting this up in the past. Thanks, past me. And it's got the little spirit wind with the sign meme. Spirit
Oh,
wind.
perfect.
I was just looking for that to see, like, I thought I added that somewhere. I've got so many scenes. Starting soon, Clip Studio Paint, main screen, BRB, snack break, finished, hold on, fixing drawing, technical difficulties, both screens, second screen, I need to get rid of some of those are redundant. Technical drawing difficulties old, draw pile, MLPDS starting soon, MLPDS finished, MLPDS technical difficulties, MLPDS BRB, scene 1, specific window, I think that was a testing one, that's it. So I needed to go into draw pile. My brain is not good at seeing words, luckily it is good at seeing art, so that's what we're going to do here today. These were all from the Reddit. I don't think we have anyone who has given us art yet from the chat. I've also got to remember not to zoom around all over the place. Every time I do this stream for LD, I forget that I'm
I
hosting.
don't know how he does it.
I forget that everyone's watching my screen, and I just zoom in and just rotate around and go all over the place. Yeah, I don't know how he manages to concentrate and draw from a distance. What tool is this? What shenanigans is happening? Why? Oh, am I now on the fade layer? I am now doing the alley claw. Oh gosh.
No.
My undo
It's a mess
count went
today.
too far and it went up. Okay. So, here is some 4th of July celebratory pony. Not only is this pony enjoying the fireworks and brandishing the flag like a weapon, not really, but they seem to have either decorated their mane via dyeing and their body with a new cutie mark, or they're just very patriotic, or they are specifically the pony
Felon.
manifestation of the United States of America in Earthland.
Yeah.
So they are very, very patriotic pony right here. Of a land that doesn't exist in Equestria. See, this is what happens. This is when Earth invades Equestria. Just like, this is how they do it. Okay, so, what is happening with these legs? I just realized the legs are, like, kind of backwards. Oh, no, she's like tipping the hat with one, and the pole is hooked around the arm in the other. It's, like, sort of less lent on her shoulder as she's, like, hooked around it. Okay. I thought she was, like, holding the flagpole with both hands, but, like, kind of backwards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? It should be the other way around, but no, that's fine. It would be good to show it a little bit. It might be actually just covered up because Valley Call's drawing, or Keepens Case is drawing. But
Yeah, there's a little bit of a.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's
there.
what threw me off is because it got covered over. Sometimes showing something like that can really make a difference. CPC has done her lovely little legs. I'm going to do my own as well, just because different styles, and it's good to just see different people's like interpretations of what you can do, because
Yeah.
you should look at art from different sources to decide which style you like. And I'm not
Open mind.
very good at back legs, so we'll probably mostly be going with CPCs, but we'll see. I'm gonna spread these out a little bit more actually with mine. You want to talk a little bit about the anatomy, CPC? Nope.
No.
Okay. What have you drawn here in the body, Cuban's case? Are you still with us, or have you fallen asleep?
Oh no.
Did we lose her? Oh, maybe her mic stopped working.
She needs
Oh
time.
no.
Oh.
Give me a little bit.
Oh, she is probably
can't-
fixing
I
something.
can't talk just yet. I'm fixing my belly.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I will just look at what CPC has done. I see she has enlarged the body here because it's quite skinny. So sort of looking at this, you see what she did with the... Oh, why does my thing always go to white? Okay. What she did here with the circles is a bit of undersketching. Obviously, we can't tell whether or not you did undersketching because this is a coloured piece. So maybe you did. You probably did. Hopefully you did. But this is what you do. Circle, circle for the chest area and the hip. And if you want to go all the way, you can do a little bean shape like she's done. But ponies have those bean bodies. So she just made it more bean shaped for you. I have this here. I'm just sort of explored a little bit of the leg. What CPC done is it's apply the bending, and you can see the like skeletal. What my colours. I'm on the layer under her, so you can see how she's done these like skeletons, showing the way the legs bend. With mine, it'd be like this. Oop. But it just depends how you want the posing, really. When you've got a lovely dynamic pose, and I really like that. In fact, what you could do, actually, to help make sure there's none of the confusion that I got stalled on, you could have the hat like coming off a little bit more. Just make it like really exaggerated. That's up to you, really. We like exaggerating things here on the channel. Make that hat nice and flamboyant. But having it like actually coming partially off the head a bit more might help show like, okay, she's lifting it off. That very much like going on the hoof here. If that makes any sense. You got anything, Ali?
I am honestly waiting for Dropout to work for me.
Oh no, this is still being a poopy patootie.
It keeps coming up completely gray for me. I cannot see the canvas, so I'm trying to
How can you critique art when you cannot see?
I know. I can just be like, hey, cute art. I like this art. This is good art.
You say like really generic things. I agree with what you just said, and like this
I like
part
this
here where
color.
you drew the anatomy, I think it looks great. Just make sure to keep those swooshy strokes and just like really generic things that can be applied to anything.
I feel the spirit of this art. Spirit of America.
Why is it grey for you?
I don't know. I'm gonna try drawing on it, and I apologize if I like squiggle.
Okay. Did you accidentally hide any layers?
No, like it's not even showing me the borders of the canvas. Like it's just
No, the whole canvas is gone. Oh, is it like, has it like shot off to a weird like part with it like off to the side where the canvas? Oh no, you can't even do that. This is a glitch. I know on like Adobe Illustrator you can zoom like well off of the canvas.
Yeah.
I want to have our alley friend to help us critique the drawings. Maybe I made the canvas too big. You know, I'm gonna fiddle with this. I made it quite big. If I resize the canvas, does that like? Okay, this. See if this actually like squishes it down. Oh, okay, cool. That's good. It does crop.
It was me pasting all those Big Macs in earlier. Killed it.
Do you want to like close it and reopen it? Maybe that'll work.
I've done that several times.
Oh,
now,
I was gonna say because like maybe you confused it.
Yeah.
Maybe it is my connection with the hosting. I don't know.
But CPC's doing fine.
Yeah. She
'Cause
is
I'm an
closer though.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
weird.
doing better than normal, probably because I'm closer.
Yeah.
Oh, poor sick CPC. Send her all
That's
the Healy
so
vibes.
disgusting.
So I've don't know what I want to talk about unless CPC has anything she wants to talk about.
I think you said everything. Like this arm, you tilted the hat a bit, and you could also lower this arm a bit, and that way more of the pull would be shown.
Whatever like shows off very clearly what is happening is probably good. So we're gonna move on to the next one.
Sure.
Sorry.
I was going to talk about how the flag is.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead. That's actually pretty good.
So the waves down here have to go with the waves up here. This.
Yeah.
Like this are all parallel lines. That's like all.
Yeah.
To the top. They aren't just random squiggles on both sides, and that will also help you because then the stripes inside are also going to be all parallel to those ones, the little squiggles underneath.
Let me just draw some of these little lines to help show. You can see sort of what we're doing with like the overlap here, right? Like how things are sort of disappearing off of the edge. But it's not cut off. It's just sort of.
You need to do them this consistent. You can still do some big.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be.
Waves.
I mean, sometimes the wind does do it the way CPC drew it, but it can be crazy and wild.
Consistent with the top.
Yeah.
The top and the bottom need to be consistent with each other.
Ah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I was just. It's fine. So yeah.
Yeah.
You could probably. I'm not sure about these flame effects and the fireworks. You could probably stand for having just like a. I don't have a soft pen. Where's my soft pen? No, that's an erasure. I don't have a soft thing anymore. There it is. Nope. Draw pile is a silly. Come on, let me draw in white.
Oh, I found soft. You have to decrease hardness and increase opacity, spacing.
Oh, I had the opacity really. Oh, and it's still an erasing pen. It's the tools in this program are extremely inconsistent. This is my soft eraser. Oh, this is my soft. No, it's not. Oh, it's because it's set to color erase. Erase. What's the? I don't want to erase at all. I want to airbrush. What are you doing?
Decrease hardness. You're in your pencil. Decrease the hardness to the minimum.
Oh, you can see my screen. No, it keeps jumping to here.
Can.
I had I mean, on the stream you can. I had a tool that was just a soft pen, and now I can't find it. Oh well, I'll have to figure it out later. But I would maybe try and make these a little bit more sort of flame-like, have a little bit more of that sort of pushing down flow rather than because they sort of look like tassels at the moment, and you can just have like a white glow like around this part to make sure that it looks bright.
I don't know what a tattle is. I don't know what a tattle is.
A tassel. It's like the little sort of like. Let me just see if I can draw it. Where you've got like lots of little bits like this. I don't know. This is very bad. Like lots of little like stringy ribbony bits. I don't know. Anyway, you can make it look a little bit more like fire. You can look up look up rockets, fireworks in flight, and see if you can find pictures of like because if you search fireworks, you're probably just gonna get mostly like explosions with color. Look up like rockets flying, you might get a better idea. Otherwise, yeah, that's it from me. So unless anyone else has anything to say, Except for Alec saying, "Let me in." Silly draw pile. We're gonna move on to the next one then.
Pastel only gave me coffee.
What did you type?
Pastle.
I don't think there's another T. There's one T.
Tassel?
Yeah. Might be two S's? I don't know. I've never actually looked at the word spelled.
I think this is a made up British thing.
Maybe. I don't know. I heard it mostly from like cartoons and stuff.
Oh, is it like this pompon thing?
Yeah, yeah. Like those pony plushies with the ribbon hair. You get them on like dangling from things as well. Anyway,
Yeah,
we're gonna look at this Anthro Rainbow Dash. I should be looking at the pages that Ali sent me and see if there's any comments on the pages. I just shoved the images and closed it. Been a little while since I've drawn any MLP stuff, so I decided to get back into it with some Rainbow Dash. That's all of it for this one. So we're gonna just critique this rainbow. Oh no, Ali! Why is it being difficult? See, draw part. We need to find an alternative. We need to find another way to make the dream okay.
Quick, programmers out there, make a way for us to bridge our Clip Studio paints together because it's a great program that we know how to use.
God, yeah, we love CSP. We need it linked.
It's just give us a way.
I'm sure there is some like really weird but like interesting service out there that would let us like actually like somehow draw together, but I don't know. We need multiplayer CSP, or just like a better thing that's not Dropper, which there probably does exist more likely.
Probably.
I think we get Aggie to let us
Paste
Aggie.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Aggie was good except that like yeah, just a few sort of like missing pieces. My tools are all weird. Anywho,
Yes, multiplayer Clip Studio Paint.
yes. So we're gonna look at this Diashi. No specific questions, so we'll just look at anything that pops out. I feel like these glasses are a little bit inconsistent. The sort of back lens here doesn't quite look like the front lens. It can be very hard to get that consistent, like eyes in general, and I think these sort of count close enough to being eyes, like the same thing, where it's like trying to do like the one on the side of the head and it's not so. I do applaud you for trying. You've got the right idea of how you've been like squishing it down. It's just like the shape didn't quite come through. I think what I've done is a little bit better. Still not perfect. It's very hard to get that consistency in, but just make sure you're looking at both and sort of comparing them in your mind. Imagine turning it and saying they still like look the same if I was looking at it at different angles. I am digging the rainbow stripes, but there's a bit of a unfortunate blending here where the leg is blending in with the tail hair, so you might want to try and do something to bridge the gap here.
Highlights?
Yeah, I was just about to suggest that. I was just grabbing the color. You can do sort of like an edge of highlight on the edge of the clothes, and then that can help you define where the edge is going. Maybe not quite that much, but I mean that's sort of an idea to get you going.
I stole your idea. I said it on the screen to credit you. The dragon who's the one that said the multiplayer Clip Studio Paint. I forgot I was on the screen.
Silly mouse. Colors of the scarf are like a very like muted shadow as well, like rainbow as well. Not quite sure. I guess just you were trying to like balance the colors, to like not just have full bright rainbow everywhere. It does look a little bit off. You could instead opt to have like just like a single color, or have it like have like a couple colors, like it's mostly one, but then it changes to a second color like to the end. or have it like got like a stripe through it, or there are a number of things you can do. I think just putting a rainbow gradient over the top and like making it darker doesn't work quite as much. There's also the fact that like it's quite obvious you've just like got a gradient going on through the whole scarf, and it's not like separate parts. So like the rainbow's going this way, it should be going this way, not down, you know. So just a tip to keep in mind there. Oh, I missed a bit of the hair, or it would just look nicer coming through. Actually, the tail looks like it's sort of appearing from nowhere as well, so there we go. I think what Ali needs to do is just like just watch the Makato stream and just like try to guess where everything is when you draw, and then wait 30 seconds to see where your line went.
The stream isn't lagging that bad today.
It seems pretty good.
You're like maybe 2 seconds tops behind today.
1, 2, 3. I don't see anything. There we go. That's like 8. That's fine. At least for me, anyway. That's fine. Usually it's like 30. So.
So I'm attempting to do some shadows, but it's difficult in this program. So what I see, it's like she's a cutout, like a paper cutout. And it's important because the highlight, the light part gets all the way to the edge, but her arm is actually a cylinder.
Yeah. So look up light and shadow techniques, because there's definitely a thing to how light hits cylindrical and round objects.
Here, so here will be a little bit of shadow on each side. But I can shadow on this program.
I think the wings are shaded really nicely. Like just looking at from a distance, they almost look like it's like a really nice like clay model or something that's just been like photoshopped in. The head has like almost none of that like shading, and I know from personal experience shading the head is really annoying and difficult. But you can do it. But remember, like the skull shape, the eye sockets, the jaw.
There's a cheeky.
Yeah, the part around like where like what you just did, because I can do like from the eye down to the side of the face, but like around the mouth is where I struggle personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's whatever you do would still look nicer than having like an obvious disparity in the shading between one part shaded really nicely and another part not at all.
I could just turn my pencil transparent. Also, you can use the multiply layer to add drop shadows, for example, from the hair and from the scarf.
Yeah, that always helps to add like 3D depth. Oops, I get rid of a little cheek mark. And you don't want to just make it black either, if you can avoid doing that.
If you're using a multiply layer, normally I go for purple. The sun is yellow, so it's a warm light source, so it's good to go with a cold shadow. I'm good. I can't. Now she looks like she has a beard when you look from far away. This program is evil.
It's very hard to do advanced techniques in this program. Like, you can line art tops, get some sketching in, but painting, shading, eh.
Ponyville Grim Dr. Hales was saying they're in static when we talk. It's probably because I'm using an audio program. I'm actually going to switch OBS over just so you can see. I'm using an audio program that I use for DJing. So like my mic and everyone else's mic is going into this, and then this is going to OBS rather than OBS just using my desktop audio, because there is background noise. My computer is really loud. Let me see if I can actually get my mic out. Nope, that ain't working. I was gonna like put it next to the computer so you hear it, but I was like, no, I don't want the noise, so I'll use voice meter, and then I can have this little button here, which makes it so it cuts out some background noise when we stop talking. Boom, it goes down rather than hovering around here. So when we start talking, you hear the background noise again. So I'm sorry about that. A little bit behind the scenes.
Secrets.
Secrets and pies. I don't have pies, I have donuts. CPC is doing a good job with the showing some shading here, some highlights. Make it a little bit more shiny looking.
The pants are completely pure black. So I'm just adding some shadows.
Yeah, it looks nice. That works. Helps add some depth. You can also do the same thing for the eyes as well, like just like a little bit of shadowing. It's hard to do in here. I think we have a... You were saying something about having a multiplier layer. I wasn't really paying attention. Let me actually do that. Multiply. There we go. It's really in that. There, now we can have multiply shading.
I'm going to grab the saturated purple and hope it's not too dark. Ooh, no. Oops.
I wish my brush worked.
Okay, I was just in the wrong layer.
So any other wise words you think to pass on before we move on to the next guy, maybe?
Fun.
Yes. Always. It's a rule. Oh, here we go. Wait, no?
Did we talk about the hair yet at all?
No. Yes. Just add
some bits. I have figured out, I think, okay, yeah, I've made my tool work again. There we go, now I can shade the eyes.
So I was just gonna say, the strands are really nice, but I would just tone them down a little bit. There's just a bit too many strands, because you have the hair being so thick and blocky, and there's no, it's just very, I don't want to say flat, but it's like solid, where the strands are, they're like the only detail to the hair. It's almost like I want a little bit of the strands in the hair themselves. Man, I so wish Drawplow was working for me so I could just sketch it.
I mean, CPC's been doing a little bit to try and broaden out the hairiness of the strokes. Why is it being difficult for you? I want to know, but I should do that later.
Like, I'm at the point where I just would restart my entire computer, but
Aww.
that would mean...
I think you confused it with Big Mac.
Big Mac. He's too powerful.
I tried shrinking the canvas view, just hoping it would make less strain or whatever. It didn't work.
It's funny because I could, when you add layer, I saw it happen. Like I saw it actively update, like you adding the multiply layer in the layer section.
I saw it.
But
yeah, when you're just doing scribbles, I could see them.
Try scribbling, just randomly, aimlessly.
Hey, hold on. I closed it down just a second ago.
Oh. The connection. The alley call connection.
I added some darker strands so you can see the separation of the hair on the inside. Didn't I just put element?
Yeah, I think so.
Drop shot. And you can also add some highlights to the hair, because normally I don't know other types of hair, I haven't looked at them, but straight hair makes this like line of highlights. So what you can do is it follows the curve of the hair. This hair is kind of a cylinder too, so if sun is sticking here and here. Layer.
They give us multiply layers, but not a screen. Weird.
And do this. Develop you. I like to on this line.
Yeah, sometimes I just draw that reference line on a different layer. It really helps.
No, fun.
Just say, hey, the shine is going in this direction.
Because you don't have to just go straight in a line. You don't.
Yeah, it's got a curve. You want to show that 3D shape. Like this here is probably not a round object like this. What this is probably doing is like this, or maybe even just like, yeah, I think there's like a bit of an overlap there, and then it's just like that. So like we're seeing sort of like a curvy, like a Pringle. But you want to show that nice like curve in there. And again, I love the shader on his wings. I'm gonna zoom in. Oh gosh, it's spinning around. This is so good.
Oh no, it's the stream is spinning.
Yeah, I accidentally spanned the canvas. My bad. That wasn't on purpose. Sometimes it is, but there we go.
Just Jenny, just answering Jenny from the chat. It's not just anime hair that's shiny. Like I have very straight hair, and it's just a thing that hair does, where it's
yeah.
highlights will accumulate like that.
Anime is just like anime is based off real life. Like it's stylized over the years, but like it was just like all anime like began in like life drawing, mimicking life. So
it's simplification of life.
Yeah.
Like ponies are simplifications of horses.
If you look at like really early anime, they did a lot to like try and get like anatomy and like to make things look like as realistic as they could, just like a little bit simplified, like Ali said. But they like we do a lot more simplification now when we sort of develop the tropes to show what things look like. Like you'll have like hair being like, okay, here's some hair. Oh, why am I drawing this color? Oh, why, that's even worse. It's the color of the canvas and the color of the sky. So it's like this, and then they'll have the hair shine. They'll just be like, oh, here's some hair shine. You have the innie. So the hair shines through like this, and it's just like solid objects because that's what it shows. It does its job.
I don't know if you're like me, Jenny, but when I stay inside most of the time, if I either at work or just like at my computer drawing, I'm just inside a lot.
Yeah,
My
we're just
hair's not
inside
so
people.
shiny. But when I go out on a really sunny day, my hair is like boom, shine, like oof, shish, boom. It's bouncing everywhere.
Hallie's hair doesn't do anything by half. We all know it's super poofy and will consume the world.
It will consume the world one day. But yeah, when you have like a really bright light, that's where it's an exaggeration. It's simplification and
Yeah.
exaggeration.
I mean, I drew these
That's right.
I drew my squiggles in very. I think CPC did as well, like very bright, just so it could show like what we meant. Whereas I probably would not use colors this bright or use lines this sharp without having something to
Or I
blend them.
would just lower the opacity of the layer.
Yeah, you can do that.
I still
Or
make them
if I
very
just
shiny when I'm on my own.
make it a bit,
Shiny.
make it full again.
What
I can also CPC. What have you done?
I was playing with the opacity of the layer.
Let me just grab my colors. Drawpad doesn't let me switch colors for some reason. It changes them back.
No.
So I have like a little bit of where now my tool there it is. It's gone. Have a little bit of a blend. If you'll let no, I need my opacity. This sucks. There we go. I needed the opacity pen option checked. Ooh. Blue. So have like a little bit of a fade to help them blend in a bit more. It depends. I usually will go for less shiny and make it a little bit more subtle, but depends on the picture and the lighting source. Anywho, I think we're all out of critique on this one and just doodling coloring techniques. But you've got to have that like cartoony. Ow! It changes my colours all the time. I have like cartoony shades effect. Not really. Anyway, I think we should move on.
Oh,
What's adorable Luna? It's so cute.
Yeah.
is
Well,
adorable.
let's move on. So here is a Luna. It's adorable. Moving on.
Basically.
Wait, let me just open the link that Ali sent to see if there was any like questions. Where is it? There it is. Chibi Luna looking for critique. Okay, that's what.
So honestly, really cute chibi style, very clean. If I had to be picky, make your shadows darker. Your shadows aren't coming through very strongly, if at all. I see some, but yeah, I'd say push your shadows a bit.
Oh yeah, I can see some shadows like this down here and here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's watercolor, so try making
Yeah.
a second. Just let it dry and go over it again. Because
Keep building it up.
Ends up getting lighter than you expect every time. At least with me.
I haven't got much experience doing like watercolors or paints in general, but I sort of get the gist of you got to sort of like build it up.
If you get bored enough during Galacon, you can borrow mine.
I always wanted to use watercolor pencils.
I have pencils. I have watercolor pencils.
Yeah.
I have watercolor pens too. I'll see what I can bring.
Everything.
It'd be like last year when you come in, but you'll have an even bigger like hiking bag full of stuff.
So yeah, last year I had to come back from the UK. I had to go back to the UK immediately.
She had
So
all
I
her like
forgot
moving stuff,
everything.
and then received her sticker machine while she was at Galacon, and proceeded to be in the hotel like jumping up and down on her bag trying to like get it to close like in a cartoon.
So we got to
But I was joking, but I'm pretty sure you actually did that.
Well, every time I have to close my bag, I have to like sit on it.
Yeah. That was it. You had to like kneel on it and try to push it down.
Yeah. This time I have a big bag because I have to bring all the Galacon merch. So I'll have plenty of space for art things. I also have to bring more clothes this time because I'm staying there a long time. I'm staying the whole week and then going with Chico. Stay even longer in Germany.
So I don't really have anything else to say other than what I was saying about the shading. CPC is doing some experimenting.
I
So
don't know. I'm trying to figure out how the multiply layer works.
yeah, we can always turn that down a little bit because you just did. Oh no, you didn't. You just erased everything.
If you have
All
the
right, now for our
gel pen,
final.
you can also. I love putting instead of having to draw out.
Alec on left.
Oh no!
Am I here? Am I gone? What?
Oh hi.
It said in the room. There's like a little message that said Alec on left.
Oh, yeah. I'm still trying to troubleshoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching you.
Right.
And, like, it was you know
As
how
soon
it
as we
does that
start the
thing where
stream,
it
it's like nope.
draws everything? Oh well. But yes.
Boo. We'll troubleshoot after the stream and see if we can figure it out. CPC is just experimenting some highlighting.
But this isn't a critique. It's just if you have a
Yeah.
A white
gel
gel
pen
pen.
there with fun to do with watercolor.
Some gel pens act differently than others, so do your research. I'm sure you could Google it. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's this one artist I follow who literally just made a YouTube video about testing out how like different equipment to use, like whether it be a white paint pen or a white gel pen or a white pen. And they tested it out to see what would show best on top of like different
Or a white
mediums.
pen pal.
I need that video. My gel pens are all terrible.
I will see if I can find it. I believe the answer was nothing's perfect, but some stuff works better than others.
Mm.
I think I heard the Posca pen is good. I've seen someone suggest
That can work. The only problem with that is that it's water based, so it only works in certain scenarios.
The one I got when I was in Paper Chase with UCPC isn't that great. It's okay, but it like only really like shows up in certain lights, and it's kind of hard to get on some like papers. So anyway, we'll be moving on to the next picture.
No, it's over. And now what I showed is how to go overboard and just highlights
Yeah,
everywhere.
just keep going too far until we've done everything. Anyway.
Plastic lunar.
So we got this Big Mac that Ali shared. I love how it didn't even complete the thing. Like after all that, with her trying to get it on the canvas, it like left a little bit out of the corner on the bottom.
Still not. It's missing a whole drawing. There's a whole drawing next to it that's missing.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's like another section to the paper. I'll get it from the from the link that Ali sent, and then I can put it in because it was being silly for her, and it broke her computer. So there we go.
How do I make it bigger?
It's okay, I got it.
No, it's all distorted. How do I do this?
Oh no. We cannot catch a break this stream.
I don't think this time was program's fault. I just don't know how to use it. And I tried to enlarge it and just went all distorted.
Oh no. Yeah, because that's why what I was saying earlier, I discovered a way to not make it do that. Anyway, so this is a picture they've shown having like Big Mac with a reference and without. Because as we were talking about that before, we were talking about using references. We'd mentioned we'd mentioned being loose and like not copying references directly. But what we meant was to like not like be copying every line on a reference one to one, but like use it to figure out how the anatomy should look in a 3D space. But we did also mention the differences between drawing something that you think you know without reference and then drawing it again like with reference, making a marketable difference, and you can see that here. I think that's probably what they were trying to do. Let me just get the Reddit page back up, but yeah, like to show how their attempt was without reference and then how it was. I'm guessing they did the one on the left afterwards, because otherwise you would just have your drawing to look at and also have it in your recent memory.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mac direct. Oops. Tail lol.
Probably one. I tried to start 3 sentences at once. I think that the changing angles is a good idea. You should still look at references after you've done it. It's like you start with just a straight pose, but you should also, when you, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
No, you're doing great.
Yeah. Also,
When
I
you
like
make
that
this pose, you
they.
don't want to.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
Simpsy.
When you make the sides just the standing pose, you don't want to just do the outline. You want to think about the bones inside the pony. So there's a bone here, some bones in the legs,
Yeah, yeah.
and this will help you.
Like, I know the references that you're looking at is just like the character, but even so, it really helps to do the undersketching and building up of the body, and then do everything on top. Even if you are
Mm-hmm.
going from a reference, it just isn't. It doesn't work as well to be like, here's like where the color is. Here's where this line is going. Here's where this line is overlapping. Like, that doesn't work as well.
Because now you can use this skeleton to build up this
Yeah.
pony.
So what I was gonna say was, I like that this third quarter one isn't using another vector for reference. They would like using, from what I understand from their annotations, they were using the first drawing as reference to then figure out how to draw it from different angles. So that's what we were talking about last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they've shown like the planes that we were talking about. We talk about with many a critique. I also like that they labeled it with a little drawing of an aeroplane apostrophe
I
S
wanted
pointing to
I wanted to
it.
mention that too.
I just noticed it like a minute ago.
Yeah, I think I don't know. So I don't know if it's just me, but just being around the MLPDS for such a long time, I think I've watched people from when we were in the IRC. If you don't know what IRC is, I just feel old. But watching this, back in the days, it used to just be on an IRC. But I've been around the community for quite some time, and I don't know if I'm just paranoid because of that. Because I see a lot of new artists come in, and I see, and I'm not saying I'm a master. I'm not. I'm still learning myself. I'm still figuring shit out. We all are. But I see a lot of people come in and be like, "Look, I drew this with no reference," like as if it's like a good thing, like it's a bolstering thing, like check it
Mhm.
out, I'm so cool, no reference. It's like,
Yeah.
but that's just hurting you, you know. It's not like a, yeah, you can be super happy you did something without a reference, but it's not a bad thing to use a reference. It's like
Yeah.
saying, like, you know, I
It's
get that it feels like, look, ma, no training wheels, but there's nothing wrong with training wheels, especially in art. There's
yeah,
nothing
and
wrong with using references. There's, you know.
and it's because it's not really the same. Because yeah, I go, I completely agree, but it's not like the same thing as training wheels. Sort of like,
Yeah.
it's not so much like, oh yeah, I succeeded with this drawing without reference. Because with drawing, there really isn't anything in the way of actual success. There it is, or failure. It's really just different outcomes. And what you're trying to do
Hmm.
is create the best, most favorable outcome. And yeah, like, you drew something that looked very decent without reference, but how good could the drawing have been if you had used references? Maybe not copying one exactly, but maybe just something to help you figure out different bits and pieces to put together, or just to figure out parts of anatomy. Just like, how good could this drawing have been? Your objective is to make the best drawing possible, not so much just to succeed, quote unquote, in drawing, in physically making a drawing on the page, because you can do that easily. CVC just did
Yeah.
it.
Because I was just trying to think of a better example than saying like references are like training wheels. I think some other better way to think about it, because the way I think about art is interpreting what you see. It can be, that can mean anything, right? But it's interpreting what you see. And if you're not seeing anything, how can you interpret it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you're getting, like, yes, you can make art out of nothing. That's totally valid, totally true.
Mhm.
Absolutely, there's no rules against that. But if you want to learn how to draw a certain thing or interpret a certain thing or find your style drawing a certain thing, you got to see that there's certain thing.
Yeah.
And it's not so much like copying it one for one. You interpret it, you see it, and you interpret it, and that's creating.
What Viten said in the chat, they said when they started, in their mind, it was not a good thing to rely on references for poses and stuff. I don't know why, but why I had this mindset. I know I'm not the only one, but yeah, use references is a good thing to do. Yes, because it's not you. Like, we hear it so
Hmm.
often. If not like
I've
people
been
who
there.
actually think it now, then like people who did when they began thought it, because somehow it is just a mindset that like the world shares. Like, at that,
Hmm.
like, before you even get into art, it's like, if you use reference to draw, you're cheating, because you should be able to just figure it out, or you should know how to do this. Oh, you don't know what a paint can looks like? How do you not know what a paint can looks like? But it's like, why would you know what a paint can exactly looks like? Every single like facet of how it is constructed, of how like the exact shape of the lid and like where the handle attaches and how, like how, why would you know, you know, even if it's something you see every day, you might not know how to draw it. You probably don't know how to draw it. And it's such a shared mindset that referencing something is like cheating because you can't figure it out, because you're not supposed to look at the answers in the back of the book. You're supposed to figure it out yourself. But a lot of life is learning by finding the answers whichever way possible, and art is definitely that, because you've got to find it by drawing and doing. But also, if you do it only that way, then you're just gonna be like walking across a desert. You got a long way to go. You're gonna need something to help you along the way. Using references will show you the path, and it's like, okay, that's where I need to go. I'm not just going to be wandering around for ages. And then you can draw something much better. And once you've drawn it from reference, like you see this Big Mac that this lovely artist has drawn here, you got the ones on the right where like they try to figure it out, like, okay, it looks vaguely enough like Big Mac. I would have said that it was Big Mac if I just looked at the picture, even without the yolk. But you know, we see the one on the left, it's like, okay, that's fantastic, that looks so much more like the show Big Mac. Because they use reference, and from now on, like, they've gained experience drawing Big Mac because they've done it once, even if it was with references. Even if you trace it to some extent, you still get a bit of that muscle memory and figuring out how things are broken down that way. And then you take that into drawings in the future. So yeah, like Vaten said, use your references.
If I jump into like a psychological self-examination thing, so a while back when I was seeing a therapist, like we actually talked about my thoughts on art and stuff. And one of the things I don't know if she helped me discover it or I just got there or whatever. We had self-discovery moments. One of the things was that maybe people or myself do the oh look mono reference thing because it's like we don't have that like we can just fall back on, oh, we didn't use a reference, that's why it looks bad. Like it's almost like, oh look, I didn't do the thing I was supposed to, so
Yeah,
it doesn't look
that
like I
is
didn't put forth my
that is
best
true.
effort, so I don't feel as bad if it's not as good because I didn't try. And I was like,
I
oh,
think that might sometimes be be the case, yeah. In some
like
cases.
it was just something I was thinking about.
No, yeah, I think you
Art
got
is
a very valid
psychological
point there.
too.
It's very hard to. I mean, sometimes maybe it's not always that, but like sometimes there are
No,
things like
yeah.
that down in the surface that we don't even realize we're doing.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of the time it is just a case of like, I shouldn't need this. Like, we want ourselves to be better, and I think in some way it makes us feel much smaller to have to like start from ground zero at like beginner mopping the floor level of art, you know, like to start from the very beginning and admit to being extremely new and inexperienced. We want to try and like just do better and improve quickly before anyone notices, kind of thing. You know, like
Yeah.
to have to actually make
So
ourselves go through the whole.
psychological. Like it gets in your like the whole we talk about this other thing that links to it is seeing like you look at your favorite artists, but you're only seeing 1% of what they actually draw. All their
Yeah.
good finished stuff. You don't see the crap. You don't see the sketches that they scribble out. You
There
don't see
are
the
so many things
frustration.
I draw that never gets finished.
Yeah, like and that mindset, that psychological thought, like oh, they're putting out perfection each time
Yeah.
they draw something. It's like
And
I
that,
should put out perfection each time I draw.
yeah,
No,
so like
no.
that leads to the mindset of like everything you draw is like it's gonna go up in your gallery. It needs to be right, and if it's not good, then you failed, and it becomes very like hard to manage, because like every drawing, it's like, oh, I'm not a good enough artist yet because this drawing didn't come out right, and this drawing wasn't as good as I wanted it to, and this drawing turned out total garbage, you know, and this one was okay, but like
Yeah.
not every picture, but because you want every picture to be perfect. But yeah, it's like, oh, how does this artist draw? And you know, of course I've been here. Of course all of us have. Of course every single one of us, definitely 100% many times, has like been that person when we were first starting and looking at artists we like and be like, oh, this person's so great. Look at the art they do. They're amazing. And then like try to copy it and try to learn from it and be like, why can't I do this? And not realizing what Ali just said about how like, yeah, that's the finished amazing art they chose to put up, not like the tons of doodles and crappy things that didn't work. and
Mhm.
all the stuff, all the thousands of pictures they've drawn, getting to that point when they were at the same level of skill you're at, and then drew more and got better over the years to where they are now.
Mhm. Like, I know for absolute sure, I was that person when I first started drawing. I didn't sketch. I just drew the outlines. And of course
Hmm.
it looked bad because I didn't sketch. I didn't let myself be messy. I didn't let myself find the piece, within the lines. I didn't let myself figure things out. Like, how are you supposed to do something if you can't figure it out? Like, you just gotta go from point A to B without, yeah, the perfectionist mindset. It is a killer in art. You need
Yeah,
you,
'cause
you
it
need
doesn't
to have
exist.
an open mind. Like, be willing to accept any
Mm.
shit that comes your way in art, and you'll learn things and you'll hate things and you'll love
Yeah,
things.
and I think something that I'm interpreting here, but I think what's Supermarine Spitfire was one of the things they were saying is like, so they're saying, as a newcomer to making visual art, references remind me of someone using models and landscapes as a subject. The perfection mindset is very difficult to break. They, it's very hard sometimes when you're using references, particularly of artists that you look up to look at and think, how do I ever make it look like this? Because you're seeing, especially when you're copying from a particular image or you heavily referencing a particular image, what you're seeing. And I've done this now. I like my art, I like my style, and I can be like drawing something and then trying to like reference one thing, but I like other things that this artist has done in their picture, even if it's not someone who I super like follow. I just like this picture that I'm looking at, and then I keep wanting to change my art, and nothing I'm doing is like good enough, because it is impossible to surpass something you are mimicking. Mimicry will always be less than the thing it's mimicking. So like that's where referencing becomes hard, because you get into that mindset of like, it's not perfect because this thing is better than what I've drawn. What you're drawing is not going to be better. You just got to make it different. Take what
Yeah.
you need from the reference and put it away. Once you're done like getting the anatomy and sorting it out, and you don't need to be looking at the reference anymore, put it away. Maybe get a different one. Maybe just wing it from there and see how you go, and then get more references if you get stuck. But constantly just
Yeah.
staring at that picture that's better than yours is like not a good way to go.
And like, you're not trying to be them. You're trying
Yeah,
to
exactly.
learn from them. It's like two
Mm,
different things. Like, being them and learning are two different things. And
yeah.
I feel like we all get caught up in the, I want to be them because I like what they did and I'll like myself better if
Yeah,
I
because
can do what they did.
and that's not even like a growing up learning art thing. That's like, I get
No,
that
that's yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, I like this and I want my art to be this, but I'm drawing one thing. I'm not drawing this.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
I had a problem because at first I was drawing ponies, and then I got over it with ponies, kind of. And then I started drawing animals, but it started again. And now I have a style that I'm okay with, but now I'm trying to draw humans, and now I just want to be like everyone else.
I constantly bounce between different art styles. It's crazy, because there's always things that I love, and it's like, how do I be all of these things at the same time when they are contradictory? Got to find like a compromise in the middle. It's like, I sometimes I want to have like a super lean, long, tall sort of bodies, because sometimes it really, really works and looks lovely, and I try to mimic that for a while. Sometimes I want like super cute, stout, adorable bodies, and it's like they don't work. They're not the same thing.
I think, okay, so there was someone that used to be in the server a lot that said something once that was like, I don't even know what they said, but the idea was that sometimes what you like to look at is different than what you like to draw. And sometimes you get really frustrated trying to draw what you like to look at because it's not
Yeah.
what you like to draw. It's just what you like to look at, you know?
Yeah, I
And
do
sometimes
remember
that's
someone
a
saying this.
roadblock. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting opinion because sometimes we like things like, I really like, I don't know, fancy
Was it Shiko who said
pastries,
that?
but I think it was yeah, it was Shiko. That's who it was.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, I like fancy pastries, but I don't think I'll have a good time like taking the patience it's needed
Hmm.
to do all the fancy dough
Yeah,
things.
it's like, I mean, even in a more specific art sense, like I love. Sometimes I love like looking at pictures of like mechas and like dragons and things, but like it's an awful time. Like, I hate drawing mecha stuff. It's so difficult. It's a huge thing to learn to do. But I love this.
I
It's
love
so cool.
I love seeing all those really detailed like city
Mhm.
drawings where they look great just with line art.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
super
yeah.
detailed.
It's like I hate drawing that so much.
And then I start drawing them. It's like, why did I do this to myself?
Yes.
I hate doing this.
Anyway, I think we've rambled on about art philosophy long enough. Listen, we needed a taste of the old times. This is what we used to do.
Yeah, the end of the stream would just be like
I
psychological.
accidentally moved over
art.
and I saw a bunch more like doodles going on.
Oh, share them because I can't see.
CPC, you can see her whip drawing now.
Guys.
I was in the middle of something important he was saying. I just started giggling.
Always the case. I really struggle to pay attention if I'm not doodling. But watching someone else doodle works. Anywho, I think we're gonna give you guys a break from listening to our silly voices, and we'll say our goodbyes for today.
Bye.
Bye bye, and you can catch this video later on YouTube. I have to do that now. So we'll see you all later. Thanks for coming to MLPDS. Join our Discord, join the Reddit, and we'll see you next time.
Woo. Art,
Yes,
have fun.
everything's
Do art
gone.
things. You got this.